The sun was high, marking the noon hour. His roommate, knowing that Sun Shuhan's cold hadn't improved, advised him to rest well and had already taken another sick day off for him. Feels like the illness is getting worse. Is it because I haven't been exercising much lately, and my physical condition is deteriorating? Sun Shuhan wondered. Beside him was a bowl of preserved egg porridge brought by his roommate at noon. Good people indeed. Sun Shuhan didn't hesitate to give his roommate a good person card. Having slept for an unknown duration, he was starving and quickly finished the porridge before turning on his computer. After habitually opening the chat software, he noticed the red dot indicating new messages in the Jushuno-1 group. Curious, Sun Shuhan opened the group to see what the seasoned Elixir role-playing enthusiasts had chatted about overnight. The chat records from the early hours appeared before him. There was North River Free Spirit's question about the newbie, the reckless behavior of Mad Saber 3 Waves, and the interesting senior from Spirit Butterfly Island. There was also Huanshan True Lord, who claimed to have divined a connection with him. Reading the chat records, the images of these people became vivid in Shuhan's mind. So it was a case of adding the wrong person. I was wondering, I don't even know this Huanshan Zhenzhen. From the chat records, it seemed that not just anyone could join this group. One needed a recommendation to enter. Moreover, the age of these seasoned Elixir fans seemed quite advanced, with some even having daughters, and from the tone, it seemed their daughters were not young. Calculating, they might be in their 40s or 50s. It's quite a task for their daughters to deal with such middle-aged role-playing. Browsing through the group's chat records, Sun Shuhan remained in stealth mode, determined not to speak. Watching the group members role-play was amusing, but joining in, that's not his style. So his plan was to lurk and read the chat records, treating it as a daily joke. One day, when he felt the group was no longer interesting, he would leave the Jushuno-1 group. That's what he always believed. Unconsciously, 10 days passed. June 1st, Saturday, Children's Day. Shuhan's roommates were semi-residential, meaning they stayed in the dorm from Monday to Friday and went home on weekends. So come the weekend, he was the only one left in the dorm. Sun Shuhan's cold had mostly recovered, leaving only a bit of nasal congestion and a cough. This was a cold-induced cough which was troublesome to recover from. Without proper care, it could last for a month. On Saturday, Shuhan slept until 8 am before getting up and having a light meal at the canteen. With nothing to do, he returned to the dorm. After turning on the computer, he habitually checked the Jushuno-1 group's chat records, which had become a good way for him to pass the time daily. Unconsciously, it had been over 10 days since he joined the group. During his 10 days of lurking, he saw most group members discussing which secret realm to explore and their harvests, or where evil spirits and demons appeared, either to subdue or slay. They talked as if it were real. Sun Shuhan thought if he copied and embellished these contents, he could post them online as Elixir novels and earn manuscript fees. In 10 days, Sun Shuhan also got to know several figures in the group, like the rarely appearing group owner, Huanshan Zhenzhen, and the two administrators, Great Luo Sax Yu Zhenzhen and Kixi Holiness, who hadn't shown up since he joined the group. Frequent online intelligence agent North River Free Spirit, the recklessly daring Mad Saber 3 Waves, the fight-loving Suklanza 7, and the taciturn alchemist. There was also the always lurking, only posting emoticons and punctuation marks, wandering monk Tongzun. It was said this senior monk was practicing a vow of silence, not only unable to speak but also unable to type, at most posting an emoticon. Lastly, in this slightly Chunabu group, there was the normally speaking Spirit Butterfly Island's Yurusi. Her number was only 1 digit different from Sun Shuhan's. Thanks to her, Shuhan had the chance to join this Jushuno-1 group. This information was obtained by the enthusiastic North River Free Spirit introducing other group members to Spirit Butterfly Island's Yurusi. Today, upon opening the Jushuno-1 group, the first thing he saw was the alchemist's message. Rarely, the usually taciturn alchemist spoke up, improved the basic elixir recipe. This was a 7-word sentence including punctuation, the longest message Sun Shuhan had seen from the alchemist since joining the group. So, he curiously read on. The alchemist's message was sent in the early hours. Simplified version of body tempering liquid elixir recipe: ginseng 3 tails, wolfberry 4 tails and 3 kian. Morning dew mystic grass 1 tail, actinolite 3 tails, daughter's fragrance 1 tail and 3 kian. Fresh Overlord's branch 1 tail, 9 suns red flame bamboo slices 4 tails, a series of 45 medicinal ingredients, some familiar like ginseng and wolfberry, some obscure like actinolite, and some unheard of like morning dew mystic grass. Fresh Overlord's branch, 9 suns red flame bamboo, etc. Add the ingredients to the medicine cauldron in proportion, simmer for about 5 minutes. Add new ingredients, continue simmering for about 5 minutes. Pay attention to the heat. Repeat until the liquid becomes paste. The finished body tempering liquid is black, transparent, and has a strong smell, easy to understand. Shu Han recognized few of the over 40 medicinal names and curiously looked them up online. In the elixir recipe, 30 were common Chinese medicinal herbs, all for replenishing qi and blood. The remaining 15, like morning dew mystic grass, overlord's branch, and red flame bamboo, were unheard of. Could they be figments of the alchemist and the group's imagination? These guys are too deep into their fantasy, even coming up with a medicinal recipe. Surely no one would actually follow the recipe and consume the medicinal paste, Sun Shuhan thought to himself. He was worried because while food can be eaten carelessly, medicine cannot be taken lightly. Taking the wrong medicine can be fatal, right? Should he advise these Chunabu group friends? After all, he had been observing for over 10 days. If someone in the group died from taking the wrong medicine, he would feel somewhat responsible. He continued reading the chat records, and indeed, someone had already started making the medicine according to the elixir recipe. It was Spirit Butterfly Island's Yurusi, the seemingly most normal girl in the group. Round 2M, Spirit Butterfly Island's Yurusi. Compared to the old version of body tempering liquid, many rare medicinal ingredients are reduced and the process is much simplified. Senior Alchemist, to what extent should the heat be controlled? I just tried and failed midway. Also, how does the efficacy compare to the past? Efficacy to vs. 1, the Alchemist said. The efficacy is only half of before, as many precious ingredients were reduced. But being able to concoct body tempering liquid with such common ingredients is a win. Heat control and specific simmering times need to be figured out by yourself. Can't explain. The Alchemist rarely sent a long message. Only when it came to alchemy could he force himself to type more. Also, if your fire control technique is not good, it's recommended to use a fire control treasure. Thank you, Senior. I'll try again. Spirit Butterfly Island's Yurusi sent a smiley face and went offline. Spirit Butterfly Island's Yurusi's last message was at 2:13 am. If she went to make the elixir after that, she should have made several batches by now. Could it be fatal? They were already quite Chunabu, and taking the wrong medicine would only make them super Chunabu. They might have been salvageable before, but after taking the medicine, there's no saving them. Finally, his conscience couldn't bear it, and he couldn't help but type in the chat box. Medicine should not be taken carelessly. Just as he was about to hit enter, typing his first message in the group, the chat window shook. A big smiley face popped up in the group chat. It was from the administrator Kixu Holiness, who hadn't appeared since Sun Shuhan joined the group. The recipe is very good. I just tried 7 batches simultaneously. All succeeded easily. The success rate is extremely high. I took some. The efficacy is slightly more than half of the old body tempering liquid, but the cost of the recipe is 10 times lower than the old version, although it's only the lowest grade body tempering liquid. In today's world where spiritual energy is increasingly scarce and precious medicinal ingredients are becoming rarer, this is really a good thing. Alchemist, keep up the good work. If you can improve the elixir recipes about the 3rd grade, that would truly be a great merit. Addition, most importantly, the difficulty of the refining method is greatly reduced, and it can even be handed over to alchemy apprentices to refine. Kixu Holiness was a renowned senior in the group, his strength even slightly surpassing Huanshan Zhenzhen. Moreover, he had profound knowledge in alchemy, making him an authority in the group. His praise naturally greatly encouraged the junior alchemist. Thank you, Senior. I will work hard. The alchemist excitedly typed a sentence of more than 6 words, and quickly at that, Sun Shuhan's mouth twitched. Someone had already refined and consumed that body tempering liquid.